If you're looking for one big lesson in microeconomics, I think the Calgary housing market would be a pretty safe bet. It has so many different communities that can make a difference when you're on the left side of the street or the right side of the street. If you're going east or west, north or south, Calgary is in four quadrants. But when you're moving to the city and you're not familiar with it, it can seem a little overwhelming. What makes each community so unique that one house is worth a lot more than others? Welcome to Calgary Living. I'm Diane Planidin with eXp Realty, and today I'm going to ask you a big favor to like and subscribe to the channel. We're back in action. Fall housing is in full bloom, and I would really love your support. But let's get to the facts. Like I said, Calgary doesn't have one real estate market. It has, I'm going to say, more than a dozen, that's for sure. Just like our weather, you can be in a bright sunshine in Discovery Ridge, and 10 minutes later, hit a snow squall in Saddle Ridge. Housing prices, same thing. So today, let's talk about Calgary's real estate microclimates, what the latest numbers reveal, and what it means for your plans. The latest from the Calgary Real Estate Board update shows a shift back towards balance. Inventory has eased compared to last month, landing at over 6,000 homes citywide. Sales have picked up, though, reaching almost 1,900 transactions in October. That brings us back to 3.5 months supply after briefly touching 4 months in September. So what does that mean? We're not overheating anymore. It's it's cooling down, but we're not crashing either. We're entering a more strategic market. And just so you know what the month supply is, typically if you're under 4 months supply, it's still a seller's market. If it's under 3 months supply, it's a hot seller's market. When you're reaching to for four, that's where we're seeing the balance transpire. But not all property types are equal. And especially when you're talking about Calgary in general, there's that microclimate again. That's where the metaphor kicks in, right? Think of each property as types as different weather systems. Detached homes, still relatively balanced. Semi-detached homes, balanced but cooling. Row homes, think townhouse, extra supply, which is adding some price pressure because they're more inexpensive to build, and condo apartments. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the rental market. But like I've said in previous episodes, the dream is not to live in a box in the sky, at least until you absolutely positively have to, or have it be affordable to get into the market. But some of those condo fees are just unbearable. So let me break it down a little more. Detached, just under 3 months supply. So we're going balanced. Price changed year over year. Mm, Less than, well, I'm just going to say 1%, 1% down. Semi-detached, just over 3 months. So balanced, total, about 1% price change increase. So increase. Row homes, just around 4 months. Cooling. That's cooling a lot. And actually, I've seen price reductions even in high-end neighborhoods in that. Price change year over year is 6%. And then apartments, 5, I'm going to say plus months. It's a hot, hot buyer's market or it's a cooling seller's market. Either way you look at it, prices are down 7%. Row and apartment sectors they got record high inventory in October. And that's putting the downward pressure on the price. That's where that all comes from. But not every neighborhood is created equal. It's so fascinating. So even inside the same housing type, prices behave differently across the city. City center detached, up almost 2%. Northeast detached, down over 5%. They did a lot of building. Let's make those, let's do those checks and balances because of where they were able to build affordably. Condos in the Northeast and the Southeast, biggest decline due to all the new build competition. Yes, so many new builds. So, two homeowners with almost identical homes can have completely different pricing stories simply based on location and local supplies. That's a microclimate. So, what does this mean? Well, if you're a seller, you need to pinpoint pricing and professional marketing more than ever. I'm going to say, me personally, I am hustling harder than I have in 17 years. The competition is fierce, not only for clientele, but to get to a sold sign. It's fierce. Some areas are still commanding strong results, but only when you position the home correctly. If you're a buyer, well, you finally have more choice, especially in townhomes and condos. You can negotiate again, and you don't have to sprint the way you did in 2023. We're not seeing those multiple offers. Some price points, pardon me, and locations are seeing quick offers still, but it's not 2023 anymore, that's for sure. And smart buyers will look at growing supply pockets and think long term value. You gotta still like where you live, but think long term value because you have a few more options now, which I think is lovely, especially for the younger generation or those looking to right size their homes. So remember, Calgary is not one market. It's a city full of micro markets who've seen housing increase over the last 10 years quite exponentially. Not the way Vancouver and Toronto went, but much improvement. So, your strategy when you're ready to make a move needs to match your community, your property type, and the current supply and demand dynamic where you are. So, where you want to live. That's why it's really important to explore different neighborhoods, feel the vibe, see what you like, see what you need, what do you want. You're starting to have a few more choices there. So, if you're thinking about your next move, buying or selling, let's talk about the microclimate around your home. Let's talk about what works for you. Contact me anytime. I'll put my contact information in the show notes and let's map out your best strategy. Because in the Calgary real estate market, there's no place like home. I'm Diane Planidin with eXp Realty, ready to help you make a move.